Now, and we're live. And we don't ever do live streams no more. We don't have the RAM for it. We tried a live stream episode before, but the juice wasn't worth the squeeze in that episode. We didn't want to have to keep. Oh, we're just gonna have to upload 3 different videos now because the stream crashed however many times. It's hard to stream, you know. It's tough.
I can't tell if you're actually serious if we're live or not.
No, we're not live. No, we don't live stream.
Recording, yes.
Yeah. See, so
are we actually recording right now?
Yeah, we're actually recording right now. I need to turn you up on Discord because your microphone is extremely loud, and I turned it down last time.
Hold on, I'll fix it myself. Hold on.
No, I got you at the right quality. Don't you touch a thing. I got you at the right level now.
All right.
Alright, so there it is. We are doing a video that we recorded before, and we lost it because I don't remember how we lost the original footage. I just smacked the table. That spiked the microphone. Alright, we're just going to be taking it easy for this episode. Now, there would be a live play, but I don't know what's going on with Kyle's internet right now. So, we are going to go over the 13 tribes of Werewolf the Apocalypse, and we're going to say, were any of these tribes good mechanically speaking? Alright.
Oh, mechanically speaking is different.
Yeah, mechanically speaking, because this is just a strict mechanics-only episode, because if we were doing, well, who's the best tribe objectively, it'll be the Talon Striders. Like, the Red Talons are my favorite, but I gotta give credit where it's due and say that the Talon Striders, in terms of people, in terms of a tribe, in terms of lore, it's the best.
I mean, I don't think it's the best. Like, you can say that it's your favorite, but
no, the Red Talons are my favorite. I'm just calling it where it's due.
Like, how are they the best? Like,
because it's the only werewolf tribe that actively tied into the rest of the World of Darkness, and even if it didn't, the story by itself would still be good. That's what I mean by that.
That doesn't necessarily make it good.
If it's a storytelling system, it's that who tells the best story is the best one.
Well, not all stories are good just because it actually mixes with all the other splats.
Well, no, it doesn't necessarily need to mix with other splats too, because the story by itself is still good in isolation. So we all know how to play werewolf.
How does the Silent Striders actually do that, though?
Well, if you were to say, it sounds like you have an opinion. You're trying to make a case for somebody.
Yeah.
So who would that be?
So who would that
just
be?
Like mechanics aside, who do you think is supposed to be the best?
Who do I think is supposed to be the best? The Gaia Fenris, obviously.
The Gaia Fenris, they're everybody's favorites, and Ryan would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, King Werewolf. Enough said.
Let's see,
I mean, it's everybody's first tribe for a reason.
And they're macho men on top of that. They got all this level of badassery to them. You just fall in love with this tribe the minute you see it. You see, we don't like meek men that just whine and cry all the time. That's why nobody likes Werewolf 5th Edition. We want a guy who's manly. We want a guy who's tough. We want that to be the hero. We want a guy who's not
hell yeah.
So we all know how to play Werewolf the Apocalypse, right?
No. Can you explain it?
All right. Well, if you've been in
one of us does, and it's not John.
But Ryan over here knows how to play unlike any game. It's like whenever we sit down and play a game with Ryan, he immediately finds out how to win within the first 5 minutes of playing.
What do you mean?
Like, we were on that Boston trip and we played Rummy 500. You said, "Oh, I've never played this game before," and then you were like neck and neck with Kyle the entire game.
What game was it?
Rummy 500 when we were playing. And then
Rummy.
Yeah, and I knew we were playing 5-card stud poker. That something was up after you got 2 straights in a row. So, because Ryan
Poker's always been my game.
Ryan likes to undersell just how smart he is. He's a genius, guys. He's a genius, ladies and gentlemen.
SMRT.
I don't know about that.
So let's go ahead. Let's get into Werewolf the Apocalypse. Okay, so in Werewolf, even though you've got the existence of rank 5 and like gifts and rights, how long does a Chronicle of Werewolf usually last? In all honesty,
a couple months, maybe.
Depends. Yeah. It depends because it depends on how much you want to stretch it out for, and whether the game actually ends in an apocalypse or not.
Well, how many games have you seen that have ended with rank 5 player characters? Because it's
never.
Because in most live plays I've seen, and most stories I've seen about people playing Werewolf.
Well, I've played games where I didn't end as a rank 5, but I did play as a rank 5 at one point during the game.
Because most games I see end around rank 3 is what I see, and I'm mainly looking at gifts when it comes to this. Like, gift selection tends to be the best. So Homina gifts, Bragabash gifts. Who really cares about these? I'm just like, part of what's really going to decide how strong these tribes are is just the gift selection for the tribe and how powerful these gifts are. As for what rule set we're using, I'm going to go with 2nd edition and W20. We're not counting 5th edition at all. 5th edition does not exist. Nobody bought it.
Well, why'd you bring it up?
All right.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a paradox. I'll give myself a point paradox. Thank you very much.
What 5th edition is being rent-free in your head right now?
I'm not obsessed. You're obsessed. Alright, let's talk about the Black Furies. Let's talk about them first.
In terms of gifts, and if you want to, go that route of, they have powerful gifts, but it's only if you're a rank 5. Mm-hmm. I would say they're actually pretty weak in terms of the strengths of their gifts.
You think the Black Fury gifts
at least non-combatically, I'd say.
Oh, but Wild Resurgence, Dan, is what I'm looking at.
Resurgence?
Yeah, just how strong of a gift Wild Resurgence is.
Let's see. Let me look that up.
I got it in front of me right now. I can read this off to you.
Okay.
I'm skipping the description, just going straight into the stats. The Fury spends a turn in concentration and spends a point of Gnosis. The werewolf immediately heals either 3 levels of bashing damage or 2 levels of lethal. With the expenditure of a willpower point in addition to the Gnosis point, 1 level of aggravated damage can be healed instead. Damage caused by silver weapons cannot be healed with this gift, but at the same time, healing aggro at character creation right out the gate with no XP. And without the use of any other gift. Where you can just use that on yourself, and unlike Mother's Touch, you're given a guaranteed amount with your healing. Where you're not...
So, here's the thing, though. With it doesn't heal aggravated damage, and when you're fighting against other werewolves and other monsters... the majority of damage that you're going to be receiving is from aggravated damage. So, unless you're fighting a vampire or maybe a human hunter or something like that, I don't see it as that being that strong.
Just having the healing on command like that is good, because you don't need to lean on the Theurge. Dan and Ryan, we've played Werewolf several times. You need a Theurge in the party. Just like somebody needs to be a Theurge, and that Theurge needs to have Mother's Touch. That is...
I would recommend...
I wouldn't disagree,
multiple.
Actually.
It's just...
I mean, we had in what was it called? Rage Across Russia.
Yes.
We had 2 Theurges, and we were constantly...
That's probably one of the most important gifts in the game. Or if we were talking about auspices alone, I'd say the Theurge is the most important auspice in Werewolf of the Apocalypse. Where
Absolutely.
Your party cannot function without Theurge.
It's a very strong argument, because the Theurge has a lot of very important roles. Mm-hmm. They lead the pack when they go and step into the Umbra. They make the fetishes. They talk to the spirits. They heal the wounds. They do a lot of things.
True. And just being able to do... being able to heal yourself without having to lean into Theurge, because we know just how hard it is to come across Gnosis on your own. And if the Theurge has to heal everybody at the end of combat, that's your entire Gnosis pool blown.
But here's the other thing, though.
Yes?
Werewolves already regenerate lethal and bashing damage at the start of their turn.
There is that, but say you're doing a lot of combat.
So it does kind of make the Wild Resurgence a little kind of pointless, especially when you're using a turn just to activate it.
I'd still say that Wild Resurgence is just a good gift to have on you. Where, if I was given the option to take Wild Resurgence, I wouldn't say no to it. If I was given.
Well, I mean, I still think it's a little situational, if you ask me.
Let's see, as for other Black Fury gifts on here, let me get out of Wild Resurgence. We've also got other gifts like Manskin, Moonshadow, Sense Wild, Spirit Smuggler, True Shot, Watchful Eyes, and Breath of the Wild as starting gifts.
What does Breath of the Wild do?
Breath of the Wild, I'll tell you what Breath of the Wild does. The Fury must touch her target's skin, and this gift must be used outdoors in a natural setting. The player rolls Gnosis, difficulty 6 for humans, 5 for Geru. Successes grant a rush of energy and clarity of thought. In game terms, this gift grants 1 extra dice to all mental rolls for the next scene. It also adds 1 to the difficulty of any rage roll the target makes during that time. So if your Philodox needs to make a whole bunch of investigation checks, say, we need to make sure this guy is actually worm tainted, we need to validate whether or not this guy is guilty or innocent. You pop this, and then behold, that's a little security check on your next couple of checks with your Philodox.
Yeah.
So it's just
In terms,
Interesting.
it's just
okay.
and you get a lot of really crazy gifts too, where this is the only werewolf out there that has an archery build be a viable option. And Flurry of Arrows is one of those gifts you can take, where you spend a point of rage, and for the remainder of the scene, the character receives a free shot per turn from a bow at no dice pool penalty. That's just fantastic if you're going for that. Where, when you're taking the roleplay seriously, when you're taking the Crownstorm seriously, you see just how massive these hands are. What guns can be held by a Crownstorm werewolf consistently?
Special made.
Where if it's got to be a fetish gun, or you're using the massive stuff like miniguns and RPGs. A pistol's just going to collapse in your hand. But
Or get stuck in your finger.
I didn't think too much of this gift until I was playing Dark Souls 3, and you come across this giant who's sniping people with a bow and arrow. And the bow and arrow is huge. Like, you walk through this place and you're thinking, what's with all these totem poles sticking out of the ground? As it turns out, oh no, it's the giant who's firing arrows that massive. So if you got a bow that's how much piercing damage targeting one thing, and the size of the missile you're shooting is what I'm meaning.
Right. So if you're fighting with a bow, though, you best hope that you're actually fighting like fleshy creatures. If you're fighting like a machine,
like
like
a hit mark,
robots, you're gonna have a very bad time.
And
also, like, look, if I'm looking at just the rank 3 gifts for Black Furies, there's one that gives you wings apparently, which is great, but I mean, you're piercing the veil at that point, you know.
Well, just do it in the Umbra.
Sure. If that's the case, then just take Owl for your totem.
Yes. And we also have at rank 2 Curse of Aeolus, where Ryan, you remember the create fog spell in D&D? That's what that does.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that spell.
So the Black Furies do have a lot of good stuff where I don't think there's anything a Black Fury can't do. They have many fingers and many pies. They could do many things. The problem, though, is that a lot of these gifts have very steep gnosis costs. Very steep in gnosis cost. Where if you're not the Theurge, if you're not spending a lot of time in the Umbra, if you're not in a Cairn a lot, you're going to burn through your gnosis pool by the end of the scene. In combat, especially. So it's really good stuff to have, but I'm looking through some of these descriptions. I'm not seeing that many gifts that use rage or willpower as the fuel. So it's good stuff. I like all the stuff that Black Fury has, but it's just too expensive after a while.
Okay, then how about we skip to the next one?
Yeah,
Bodnar.
So I'm gonna say that the Black Furies, they're good. They're good. Like, it's just like kind of like, well, you're not Kyle, you're Ryan. Well, just say I'm giving like the Black Furies like a B plus.
They're a solid B, sure.
That was also Danston.
Yes, and then all right, it's a B. It's just good, but not great. Just good. All right,
I'm okay with the B.
Bonars are good at one thing. There's a specific thing you're going for with these builds, and that's either a social build or a spy build. Whenever you're playing a Bonar, or the rare Forager build, where it's a playstyle that I rarely ever see. Where Ryan, you remember what Trash's Treasure does, right? I think you have this gift.
Yes.
You just take a busted object, you roll wits and crafts, and the object functions perfectly for one success for 1 turn per success. So, any sort of say you have a child of Gaia in the party, they use jam weapon, and then a Pentex operative's gun blows up in their hand. You, as the Bonar, can then run over, pick up that gun has several bullets in it, and then you can turn that on the BSDs come after you. Sure, I probably described a really elaborate scenario, but this is just good to have. Or say you're traveling and your car breaks down. Well, this doesn't require any sort of... Well, if you want to do the extended lifespan, where you can spend a point of willpower and have it operate for a full day, willpower is easy enough to come across a werewolf. Especially
so what you're saying is that Bonar are not really strong. They're just it's like good at things.
A lot of really practical gifts is what I'm looking at here. And same thing like send the sweet honey, kitchen chemistry, cooking. And it's how good of a gift cooking is.
Yep. So what you're saying is that Bonars are a no in terms of the strongest mechanically.
Well, it's more like they're no, they're not going to be the strongest, but it's just stuff that's good to have on.
Well, then next.
Well, how about this? Well, let's make one argument for this because there is a really strong gift that they have, and that's desperate strength, and that's something you can get character creation.
Yeah, but they're not the only tribe that has desperate strength.
They're not the only tribe that has guess. Well, the only other tribe that gets is the White Howlers. But we're not covering the White Howlers.
Pretty sure that other auspice also get that as well.
I'm looking at Wormfell right now. It's just Bonars and White Howlers.
Really?
Yeah, and that's it. Where if this was accessible, then everybody would be taking it. So after rolling the feats of strength table, the Guru can burn a point of willpower and roll 1 die for every health level he has remaining. For each success, he can take an extra level of aggravated damage to increase his number of successes by 1. He does not. So what this does is that you can willingly deal aggravated damage to yourself to give yourself extra dice. Where if the chips are really down, you can say, I can say, give myself 6 extra successes, just to make sure that we take down this particular worm beast we're fighting. And that can either be 6 successes to the attack roll or 6 successes to damage rolls with desperate strength.
I mean, it's also a double-edged sword though. That's the thing. Yeah, it's a one-shot deal, and it could either work very, very well or very, very bad. I still think that's not really enough justification to say that they're the strongest.
Where it's good, it's really good, but at the same time, this is just very situational. Where the Bonar is never going to be the strongest tribe through the entire game, but they're definitely going to have their moments. Is what I can say about the Bonars. So, in terms of mechanical strength, I know there's other tribes out there that are stronger, but I'm going to say I'm going to be kind of generous with my ranking here. I'm going to give the Bonars an A-.
Are you actually doing like a ranking?
Yeah, like a little grading. Yeah.
Okay.
See, why are you thinking this, Ryan? Because you're playing one of these after all. Don't think about this one. He's
really B-, low B, high C.
I give it a C because we're talking about power.
Yeah, you're going bearish on the Bonars, okay.
You said we needed to be objective.
Those commie bastards deserve their C.
In the Zero War of Darkness, just werewolves are just really strong in general. There's no bad werewolf build by any means. Alright, so... Well, I am going to have to make an argument for the Children of Gaia. Where...
Oh, the Children of Gaia, they're strong, they're just not lethal.
Yeah, these are gifts that will fuck you up, but they're not going to deal damage.
And you know what? There is strength in mercy. I think you understand that, John, being the Catholic that you are.
How many daily encounters of werewolf can you end with just jam weapon alone? What is the leading cause of death in werewolf games when it comes to player characters?
Silver bullets.
The correct answer is first teams, yes. So with that, behold, your first team isn't as scary anymore. They got to use their knives where, you know what, the big rule with the fighting werewolves, do not get into melee range with a werewolf. It's not going to work. This is not how that works. So, a Child of Gaia by themselves, like usually the COG just has all these gifts because their intention as a tribe is, we're going to force you to be pacifistic, and then we'll just have a nice little Undertale style conversation in that, and then I spare you. I click the mercy button at the end of the encounter. How this actually works in Werewolf games is that now everyone else in your pack can just go over and wail on everyone else. And you have other gifts in here too, where they can start the game with Resist Pain out of Auspice. They can start the game with Mother's Touch out of Auspice. They have a lot of Phildux and Theurge gifts that they can just get out the gate. And then their healing is even more incredible because they have Grandmother's Touch, which is it's just Mother's Touch, but better in every way. And they actually do have some melee gifts, where Unicorn's Arsenal is what I like to read. The player spends 1 point of Gnosis to initiate a transformation. Any opponent bearing a wound delivered by Unicorn's Arsenal, which is hooves, fangs, and horns come out of your body, loses 2 dice from all attack rolls until the wound has healed. So just additional wound penalties on top of the damage you're dealing. Which is
pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool.
It's fantastic. Where a child of Gaia, I swear, like, people sleep on this tribe. They're actually really strong, but compared to guys we're going to talk about later, they're not the best. But this is really good. This is really good stuff.
I'd say they're at least like the highest A tier.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is a solid A. This is a solid A. Ryan, what you think?
I can see that. I can see that.
Right. Yes.
We may have to go back to them on that because, like, they could go to S tier if we go by comparison.
Because the strength of the child of Gaia, they're not strong by themselves. In a team unit, in a pack, they're fantastic.
I mean, that goes for all the werewolves, though.
Yeah. Well, we'll say it too, but the children of gods, their gifts directly synergize with other tribes. This is really
Which
good.
also makes them strong.
Right.
I mean, like,
Well, we'll hold that. That's the whole pack system of World of the Apocalypse. We solved the code. Alright. The Fiana. Definitely not the strongest. Definitely not. You rank them that poorly.
Like, first off, they don't even have that many gifts.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. It's only one page. Like, they only have 5 rank 1 gifts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and like, yeah, and the gifts that they do have that rank 1 aren't combat-y at all. They're just kind of
like talking gifts. Like, their only unique gift too is Fairy Light, and that's it. Where even then,
I have a flashlight too.
It does. It's just dancing lights from D&D, and that's it. That's all it does. You have to go to rank 2 before you finally get something unique. Where sure, if you're going for a social build, like amazing, but what was the last talk-heavy werewolf game you were in? And the ironic question is that there is no such game. There is no such game out there. Where...
Yeah, Fiana, they have the short end of the stick. Right. I think we can say that when it comes to Fiana gifts, and they're not really that strong.
Right? They don't pop off until rank 2, and that's when they get Sertawin's blood. Where the Garuk heals an injury targeted... They heal an injured target by spilling her blood and rolling stamina plus mercy at difficulty 8. Wound level is healed per success. However, the gift users suffer a number of wounds equal to the amount healed. It's essentially Mother's Touch, but you not only have to pass the difficulty roll for it to work, but it also deals damage to you. I mean, it's good to have. It's just good to have on you. Like any sort of healing in this game is good, but that's expensive. That's really expensive though.
Yeah, it's not just. It's still not enough to justify it.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that the Fiana are not on the lower totem, like the Bonar, is actually still kind of a miracle. If you ask me.
It's a miracle. It's because they're keeping all the history. They're keeping all the books. Is why. That's the only reason they're doing so well. So yeah. I don't think it's a D. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's like subpar, but it's not that glamorous. I think the gift selection is honestly why the Fiana are second fiddle compared to the Gaia Fenris, because I want to play a Fiana warrior, and then you look at the Gaia Fenris build and like their gifts compared to the Fiana gifts, and you're not going to play a Fiana after seeing that. You're going to play a Gaia Fenris instead.
In my defense, though, can you think of any other tribes in this list that'll probably actually be a D tier? No.
Probably the
Closest
Stargazers.
one's
hold on,
actually
hold on.
the closest to actually getting a D tier would be a Fiana. So
I think there is a worse tribe out there, and I'm gonna give the Fiana a C minus.
Hold on. In my personal opinion,
Well, hello, Greed.
Hello. There is no such today. What the fuck happened?
Yes. What happened is that Kyle's IT job went foobar, and now here we are making a B video.
Oh! What's up, everyone?
There it is.
It is I.
Surprise
the
guest.
interrupter.
All right. So Ryan, I mean, we don't need to catch Greed up to speed. He knows what's going on here. He's gonna figure out. Ryan, how would you rank the Fiana in terms of power? What letter grade are they getting?
A Fiana?
Yeah. You want we just went over?
Maybe high C.
Yeah.
Maybe mid C.
Yeah, it's not impressive compared to like the bone arms are more impressive than the Fiana. Okay. Now for one everybody can agree on, get Fenris.
Get a Fenris.
A plus.
We're talking mechanically.
A plus.
Oh, we're gonna go bottom tier. We're gonna go F.
Yeah.
F
F for fuck your ass up. That's what it is.
We're talking mechanically strong, not necessarily like in world.
Yeah, straight mechanics.
Yeah. Straight mechanics. Well, then, like I'll say this here: every tribe is very good if you put them in where their tribe is best at.
And in terms of just straight combat, incredible. They're just incredible. Where the point why you're playing Reality Apocalypse, you're playing this game because you're expecting there to be combat in there. I mean, the Vampire the Masquerade's a Mafia simulator. Maisie Ascension is a cult simulator with some secret wars going on in the background. Changing the Dreaming, the talky gifts like Sovereign are the ones that are really strong. But Werewolf is a war game, and there's no other tribe out there that has gifts quite as strong as Fenris. They're very simple. They're very straightforward. They're almost a little boring, but in terms of mechanical effectiveness, incredible stuff. Lightning reflexes, Sigurd's Stride, Snow Running, Safe Haven, Visage of Fenris, Razor Claws, and Resist Pain and Master of Fire all available at character creation.
Yeah.
How good of a gift? How strong is Resist Pain?
Hold on.
It's strong.
Is very strong.
Yes.
Is very strong.
Yes, very strong because this game actually, the more hurt you get, the more weaker you get. So yeah, it's actually really necessary.
And for Get Fenris to just power through it, along with Master of Fire and Razor Claws, where you watch our live play. Like, even though we play with modified rules in our live play, Insta Road has this, and just with this gift, anything that she touches just dies instantly.
Oh yeah, no, Razor Claws is disgustingly good. It's disgusting.
And the
here's the thing about Razor Claws.
Yes.
You don't even need it.
You don't necessarily need it. It's overkill. It's overkill.
If I'm playing like a strong, very deadly, get a Fenris, I'm looking at Razor Claws and I'm thinking to myself, I could make it that easy, I could make it that easy to be that much of a killable playable, but I want to be more versatile. So that's why I don't really choose it, because to me, when I'm looking at Razor Claws, it just looks like minimaxing to me.
Nah, not really.
Choking out in the middle of my bullshit.
Hello.
Hello, Kyle.
Hello.
Yeah, here's Kyle right now. Kyle, we're doing a B episode.
Oh yeah, sorry I bumped in. I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry we don't have Appalachia tonight. I'm on the on-call schedule at work, and we had a client's network go down after a storm, so I had to be on for that.
What? You're an IT guy. Why do we need people on call for? I don't get it.
Because not everything. Well, no, it's an IT guy because they need to call me to figure out what's going on.
Your brain is that valuable.
Yeah, it is. It sucks being a pawn of the weaver.
Well,
anyway,
this is why you want to half-ass your job, Kyle. When you're good at your job, people ask you for stuff.
Yeah, I know, but you know what else? But look, my company's too small for me to half-ass anything.
Hey, Kyle, while you're here, I have some tech problems. My computer tower won't flush.
Yes.
Stop.
Well, Dan, if you're not going to put too much stock to Razor Claws, how about wearing the bear shirt?
Hold on. What's wearing the bear shirt?
Wearing the bear shirt. Let's read what wearing the bear shirt does. No roll required. Once this gift is learned, its effects are automatic. The Fenrir who learns this gift never enters Fox Frenzy. Instead, he enters a Berserk Frenzy, regardless of the stimuli. It essentially sends you into just straight frenzy no matter what. You're not going through Werewolf Rot Shrek at any point in the game ever again once you have it.
Well, what Rock Shrek, to be fair, and this is from Vampire Tier, is just your beast taking over. It doesn't mean necessarily fire.
Yeah. Well, and that Fox Frenzy, you don't run across that a lot, but when it does, it just fucks you up because there's just nothing you can do while it's going off. And sure, you technically are losing control of your characters at the same time, but your Fenris is still participating in combat when he has that. And then, if you don't want to put stock in that, let's talk about Ryan's favorite gift, Troll Skin.
Right, Troll Skin. That gift
I
is...
love that gift so much.
The player spends 1 Gnosis point and rolls Stamina plus Primal Urge difficulty 7. For each success, the character receives 1 additional die on her Soak roll.
That is very strong.
And that can soak silver.
No, it doesn't.
No, it can. It can.
No, it
Really?
says those
Wait,
extra soak
No,
dice
I read the gift
cannot
wrong.
be
No,
used
it
to
it cannot soak silver. Never mind. Okay, I had a small reading disability moment.
I was about to say, hold on, man. That's actually pretty good because you don't get a lot of gifts that can counter silver because one of the few things the DM can actually reliably use to put you down. If not, you're basically mollywopping through everything.
Even with that soaking silver, it's still pretty good.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just good to have on you. And then on top of that, if you want to go for like social builds too, if you want to bring that up, Sense Guilt is a gift that only the gift owners can learn, and that just immediately gives away whoever's Rune Corrupted when you have that.
Yeah.
So.
And everybody knows the 2 famous werewolf gifts. When I'm talking about the rank 5 ones, these 2 famous Fenris gifts people always get. People forget the second one, but everybody remembers the first one. Might of Thor.
Yeah, exactly. Where
That's all right.
we had Rap Red spend extra points for his Wendigo character to get that on him. Where you blow your arm off when you use this, but just how strong this is. The player spends 1 Gnosis and rolls Rage, then rolls Willpower, difficulty 8. But when all of those go off, the Garu's strength doubles for 1 turn per success. So
Yeah.
Thunderworms will die in 1 punch from your Gaia Fenris.
In your edition, sure.
Yeah, if it goes off. Where imagine just how many damage dice you're rolling when you're attacking.
around 20. I will say though, you need to roll very high in order to get it to work. Because if you're a shitty roller and if you roll like botch on that, you're gonna have a bad time.
Where it's,
I mean, to be fair, if you say that could work about anything. Well, this gift is real powerful, but if you roll dog shit, it doesn't mean shit.
and then your stats are shredded for an hour in game after it goes off, but still.
Yeah, it's kind of like the haste spell if you think about it.
It is where while it's active, you are untouchable on the table, but the minute it wears off, you're screwed.
Yeah, to be fair, you're only supposed to use that when you fight strong opponents, and people forget this little thing here about werewolves. You're supposed to work as a group, not by yourself.
Exactly. And is the other gift Venom Blood?
No, it is Mountain's Heart.
Mountain's Heart. Okay. That's the one I'm least familiar about. You're right about that.
Yep. It's it's the same thing with Might of Thor, but this one doubles your stamina.
See, why did the Glasswalkers also learn this?
I forget. I could be saying their name wrongly, but basically saying you double your soak dice.
Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah, and it's a point of rage and a point of willpower to activate. So
yeah, you are literally knocking down fucking whole mount. I wouldn't go down. You are literally ripping buildings across the fucking city as you get punched through buildings with that shit.
It's and then you combine that with Troll Skin. You're essentially, you can go on the receiving end of like scenes from Invincible where Conquest is railing on you, and your Get Fenris will just get up after it happens.
Yeah, fucking nightmarish.
Because nothing bothers you anymore. So
Get Fenris, I think. Sounds to me how you're selling it. They should be an S tier.
It's S tier. We're gonna make the S tier a thing. All right, let's go ahead. Let's put them in an S.
Hold on. There's 3 tribes. Well, there's 2 tribes that's definitely an S tier. That is the Silver Fangs and the Gaia Fenris.
Yeah. And there we have it. So, well, the Silver Fangs. We'll get to Silver Fangs in a minute. But
I would add Like I would add Octana in the S tier personally.
Yeah, so-
Tenor?
yeah. Oh yeah, the Octana.
Oh my God, yes.
It takes a while to set up the Octana, but when it goes off, it goes off. It's crazy. So,
No, even at rank 1, you have amazing gifts.
so
Let me pull up the Tenor.
So I'm gonna say, like, if we're gonna make the S rating a thing, let's go ahead. Let's put Fenris in S.
Yeah, no, they're definitely going to S. There's no way they're not.
Ryan, what do you think? You're staying by an F ranking, aren't you? F for fuck his ass up.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Glass.
If I was to give it actual grading, I would say high B, low A.
As he's got more.
Oh
stock.
wait, no, we go up to S, right?
Yes.
Okay. High A, low S.
Got it.
All right.
All right. Glasswalkers.
Probably S.
Yeah. They're.
Probably not.
You gotta think outside the box when playing this number. If you're going for an infiltration or a gun build, they're very strong.
And also, like I said before, we're using them in across a variety of scenarios. Yes, it's anywhere outside the city. Again, Glasswalker is rather shit.
Yeah, if you're playing a game in Africa, you're not gonna make any progress with the Glasswalker.
You know what? I think King has a point though. Like if you're using the Glasswalker, if you're losing the tribe properly, they can be very strong. I think you have a point there because the Glasswalkers, if you're not doing a tech like fetish like gun build, then they're not playing the Glasswalkers properly, I guess.
Because Dan, you're wanting to start a Rage Across Amazon Chronicle soon.
Yes.
If I were to play a Glasswalker in that game, would I be wasting my time if I took gifts like budget approval process, plug and play, agriculture, Weaver's Eyes, and network terminal? I'll just be. I would have to not be in the jungle. I'd have to be in the facilities. And even then, if it's Pendex controlled, I'm fighting computer viruses the entire time I'm using these gifts.
I would still say they're pretty useful because the Karens themselves, they do get supplies and equipment from the city. And
I'm not denying any of that.
But
Sorry.
Not to mention Pentex, not to mention that you're fighting technological enemies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is like fight technology with technology is the way to go.
And they do employ hit marks, yeah.
Yeah, because Glasswalkers, their thing is win in strength through having the best gadgets and having the best technology.
And
but like I said before, my point is very obvious here. Out of anywhere that's not based on technology or any type of city, Glasswalkers are sort of, or just kicked to the curb. Like my favorite tribe, the Red Talons, really good in the forest, just will fuck you up in the woods. I would not put a Red Talon in the fucking city.
Because Overclock and Handsful of Thunder especially are very good, very strong gifts. The infinite ammo rocket launcher can be yours if you play as Glasswalker. But
yeah,
things need to go the Glasswalker's way for the Glasswalker to pop off. Again, Fenris just... They're making progress in any scenario. Like, just any situation to get Fenris that's self-sustaining. But a Glasswalker, if your Dungeon Master said, okay, we're going to put you up against an enemy that's bulletproof, is going to jam your guns, and just EMP all of your technology, you're screwed. There's very little you can do.
Yeah, hold on. To be fair, that's fine. Any Glasswalkers, I find that actually hilarious too. You think, all right, werewolves are dumb and stupid. They don't use any technology. Brings in the Glasswalkers.
They're very good, especially if your game centers around the Tenocracy, or you have mages in the game, specifically Sons of Ether and Virtual Adepts. That Glasswalker is going to be the MVP of the entire game. But
yeah,
another situation, nah.
Yeah, like the mage game you're running here. You understand, you can tell very quickly here. Mages can be strong, but many people really overestimate mages. They think, yes, the average mage is walking around with 5 dice. No, the average mage is walking around with 2.
Yeah, because you still gotta operate off a paradox, which is why I have such a massive issue with the Bastet being mage built.
Yeah, and then you have, and basically to summarize here, you have werewolves that can basically be rolling counter dice with 10 to 5 dice all the time against you. You're getting fucked.
Meanwhile, a mage, for most mage games, you're capped at 5. Usually.
Yeah, at 5 is like, literally, it's stated very quickly, a mage at 5 a rat is an elite mage. You are the elite of society. You are the rank 4s. You are the elder vampires.
But you're not.
That's what
But you're
being
not an archmage yet. You can't bend reality to your whim and find ways to undercut paradox. You still have to operate off of paradox.
Let's not talk about mage, okay?
So-
Let's stick to the
But
thing.
I'm giving that as an example here,
Yeah.
if about mages here.
Yeah.
But
All right.
Yeah.
So glasswalkers, like, I get what you're saying that they're only strong in certain, in like their environments, but honestly, the glasswalkers, they can bring their environment with them wherever they go.
that's that if you're going to use that as an idea, then any package, any tribe is strong as long as they bring something of their tribe along with them. We're not using
the
fetish.
they can't bring the forest with them.
Yeah, but you just said about fetish guns build. Why don't I just bring a fetish that make trees grow around me?
Where and like, you can bring equipment too, but at the same time, the highest I can give them is just an A-. Where in the right situation, the glassworkers are just going to be very strong, but if things aren't going their way, there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah,
But
but
the stuff that's on the table is just really strong in general.
Yeah, you can be a gun build glasswalker. I break your gun.
The high frequency katana build.
Yeah, but again, I'm not trying to shit on this idea. In my personal opinion here, I will put glasswalkers are good. They're competent. I'm not denying that, but they're not an A. They're at most a B for me.
Ryan, what do you think?
I will also say that they have a lot of gifts.
At
rank 1.
A total of what is this? 63 gifts in their arsenal.
Yeah, the fucking glasswalkers got a lot of love from the creators. I can't deny that.
It's the most out of any tribe. The only tribe that beats them is the Black Spiral Dancers, and that's it.
The Black Spiral Dancers are unique. Oh, hold on, are we bringing the Black Spiral Dancers?
No, because that's a D. That's a D.
Well, hold on, I wouldn't go that far.
In all honesty, I do think the Black Spiral Dancer gifts are pretty weak.
Oh no, I'm not. But I would say the Black Spiral Dancers are a C.
Yeah. Ryan, what do we think about the Glassworkers mechanically? Because you tend to be pretty
I'll
smart.
say B.
B. Red Talons.
Solid B.
It's gonna be hard for me to say. I really do like these guys. I really do, but they're not that strong mechanically, and they know it. Where Ryan, you remember you weren't present for that episode. Kyle was, but we did an episode where we were going through our episode through the Red Talons, where we were breaking down the tribe, where they had a whole section about the Gaia Fenris, about how they really hate the Gaia Fenris. But they know not to say that around the Gaia Fenris because they'll get their faces caved in. It's like almost like the author themselves saying, yes, the Red Talons are a very violent tribe. They're very quick to scrap, but there are so many other bigger fish in this pond. Where if the Red Talons were to lose control and pick fights with everybody, they'd be dead already. And
well, you can say that about any tribe, but yeah.
And the only real viable Red Talon build without leaning on gifts from an Arun or breed, you have to go for an ambush build with a Red Talon.
The Red Talons are absolute nightmare to ambushers.
Yeah, like Wolf at the Door, Eye of the Hunter, Speed of Thought, Hidden Killer is the start of the show when it comes to the Red Talons. After a battle, the Guru must lick each wound she's inflicted once. The player spends 1 Gnosis and rolls Intelligence and Stealth difficulty 7. If the roll succeeds, the wounds alter themselves so that they resemble stabbing wounds rather than bite marks, and any hair, saliva, or blood or other physical evidence from Roll's body disappears. Where, that's really good at covering the veil.
Yeah, Red Talons are... Okay. I'll talk about the good parts, then I'll talk about the bad parts. Mm-hmm. Red Talons. I went on little spurgs moments of this about talking about them. Mm-hmm. Really good build, but their main ability from their gifts is territorial control.
Just having an area that's theirs and they patrol it, they have to have like a home turf advantage, so to speak, for them to really take
I
off.
wouldn't go that far. Basically, if you look at the gifts, basically saying here is summarize it. If you enter a Red Talon's area or any area that's claimed by Red Talon, you can't leave.
Exactly.
Seriously, the literal path that you would take to leave, they don't exist anymore.
It just vanishes, and with Wolf at the door, they pin you in one location until the rest of the pack comes over and takes you.
Yeah, you could use magic or gifts to try to say, okay, this will lead me out, and immediately that doesn't work anymore.
But at the same time, with like I said, with the children of Gaia, you have to rely on your pack to help you out with the Red Talon if you're not handling a situation by yourself. Where
Yeah, but
if you're not built around stealth specifically, you're going to struggle a little bit with the Red Talon. Where if you're in situations by yourselves, because we got rapid in our live play with Autumn Leaves. Now, Autumn Leaves, a lot of his gifts, we're noticing, Ryan, aren't necessarily Red Talon gifts. He's using Auspice gifts to really carry his character.
Yeah, but Auspice gifts mix. We're not really. We're jumping
no,
based
we're
off.
not going really into Auspice because there's one correct answer as to which is the best, and that's the Theurge. Every pack needs a Theurge. And of course, Arun, like world to world combat, of course, Arun's the best one. But I feel like it's even more situational because the Red Talons have a home turf advantage with their gifts, but their home turf is disappearing, and it's getting smaller every day. So
I mean, sure, but let me give it a scenario here.
Okay.
That guy gave for the things because I have to defend him here.
Yeah.
Wolf's at door. Hell, they can actually give delirium to other werewolves.
Mm-hmm. They can have that because they're just so freaking scary.
Yeah, I mean, but you summarized them pretty well, Johnny. The Red Talons, I'll be honest here, they're a B minus. They're a B minus.
Yeah, Dan, you're not very opinion on the Red Talons, are you?
Waiting for you guys to fucking shut up so I can actually say something.
All right, well, go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, it sounds like they're C tier.
Yeah, it's C where. Yeah, it's the Red Talons. Like, sure, with the whole build, but you can lock. Like, if you have a hypothetical where you got a Gaia Fenris fighting a Red Talon, you can have the Red Talon trap the Gaia Fenris in the woods, and then when the Red Talon jumps the Gaia Fenris, they still lose because the Gaia Fenris can still fight their way out of the situation.
I wouldn't go that far.
Where it's if your first attack goes wrong, if your first round of combat goes really wrong with a Red Talon, that's a lot of options out the door they just can't pick up on. And it's better for you to run away as a Red Talon than to keep the fight going.
Yeah, but I will say this here: you're basing them off against the royal tribe that's built around combat.
Oh,
literally the best combat tribe.
Well, exactly, and that I think you just said it right there. The Red Talons are not the best when it comes to this.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, you're literally just putting up the Red Talons who are built around ambushing against the combat tribe. That seems a little unfair.
Yeah, so it's so that's my point exactly. It's that the Red Talons are not the strongest.
We are talking about combat mechanics.
Yeah, and just.
I thought we were talking about utility mechanics.
Well, just like
point,
mechanics in general, because I gave the Bonars a pretty high rating, but no one else did. But
yeah,
so
I mean, if we're talking only about combat, then like half the tribes would drop from their rank already. Like,
so that was why to be rated the Fiana so low.
Yeah, if it was going to be about just combat, the Glasswalkers wouldn't be a B or A; they would be a C.
Yeah,
sorry, maybe it wasn't mechanics. Maybe it was just their mechanics in general.
Yeah, just how strong are they at the game of World of the Apocalypse itself? I want to give the Red Talons a good rate. I can't give them anything beyond C+. I just can't do it. I gotta eat crow.
I'll be honest here, they're a B minus. They're not really great for straight up combat, but they're really good if you actually have a planner and a thinker.
Yeah, Ryan, this is a low ranking for you too?
Yeah,
just
I would say high B, low A.
Yeah. So, you're going bull on the Red Talons. All right, we got.
I've always liked them as a tribe.
Let's see here. Shadow Lords. Now, once again, you kind of gotta go outside the box with the Shadowlords too, because when it comes to it's a politics build. And what I've said several times about the Shadowlords is that you're playing a werewolf that acts and has mechanics similar to vampire instead of werewolf. Where
I wouldn't say that they're even similar to vampire. I think they're just they're similar in terms of like espionage, because it's like zeroing in on like some guy's secrets, or like hearing in on some guy's secrets.
Information gathering, like they have gifts and bonuses to interrogation, something that no other werewolf has. But at the same time, if the minute a Shadowlord loses control, then you start going downhill with the Red Talon build. Where
that's walking on the edge. That's being the Shadowlords.
Like seizing the edge, what you just said. Like seizing the edge is the call to fame here. Where you spend a point of gnosis, and for every dice tie you have with another NPC, you always win the tie. And how many times will that happen over the course of the Werewolf Apocalypse game?
Quite a lot.
Probably a lot.
Where that's just good to have. Where anytime you're saying, "Oh no, you rolled a dodge roll equals my attack roll," well, my attack roll hits you anyway. And there it is where,
yeah.
So yes, you start steamrolling in combat, but if you're rolling poorly, you're not going to make a lot of progress. And other stuff they have where that's the one really good combat edge, and same with social roll and information rolls, and all the other stuff is more information based, like gathering information, like purify sense, dream of 1,000 cranes, ears of the bat. There's one on here that I'm forgetting the name of. Fatal flaw. That's what I'm thinking of. Where that also works in combat too, where what's the mechanics on this? You roll perception and empathy. Difficulty equals to the target's wits and subterfuge. Where usually a lot of the BSDs and Pentex members and first teams you're fighting don't have much in terms of subterfuge. So this tends to be a very low difficulty roll. And then you learn something about the target where if it's combat related, well, congratulations, you now have extra successes on fighting that target. But would we say this is technically better than the Gaia Fenris?
No.
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 Well, in certain situations, that gift could definitely be good. I mean, for example, you could be the enemy you could have some weird ass fucking weakness, then Fatal Flaw comes out of nowhere, and the opponent knows now.
Where once again, it's a tribe that is strong, but situations need to fall into its favor. Where
I would say more like the gifts are strong, but they're difficult to master and actually use properly.
But you do get some crazy shit for combat too, like Storm Wind Slash. Do you want to be Virgil from Devil May Cry? Well, guess what? Now you came with that gift.
Well, to be fair, they have an Asian branch,
and then on top of that, stuff like Clap of Thunder, Halt the Coward's Flight, Luna's Armor is something they can learn.
Clap of Thunder isn't that strong. I'm going to tell you this because
it's not that strong, but it's good.
It's not even good because you're also hurting your pack mates as well.
Hold on, let me go to Clap of Thunder.
Clap of Thunder. Let's read what Clap of Thunder does.
Okay, I might end up being disconnected. The power just went out.
Let's see. He's going to vanish any second now. Why is everybody's power going out today?
Fucking storm, and also we live in the Carolinas.
I don't have a storm going outside my house right now. It just went right past me.
The fuck? Fuck you.
The player spends one gnosis point. All characters within 10 feet, friend or foe, must succeed a willpower roll difficulty 8, or be stunned and unable to act for one turn. Well, just don't stand next to your party members.
I mean, that's a very fair argument.
All characters.
Yeah, all characters.
Yeah, we heard you. Just don't stand next to your party member.
Where, like, stun is incredible, where that's just a skipped turn. And that's just good to have, where on top of that, if you're playing as Shadowlord, you're not really thinking about your fellow man, are you?
That is true.
It's entirely within character of the Shadowlords. And then, what else you got other stuff like under the gun. This is the gift I was thinking about. The Shadowlord touches the intended target with her fingertips. The player spends a gnosis point and rolls manipulation and firearms. The curse lingers for 1 success per day. What this does is that any sort of arms strike you make against that marked target, the difficulty of your attacks is now reduced by 2. So if you want to have
that's just
you got a sword in one hand, you got a gun in the other. Now you're making your firearms shots at difficulty 3 in some situations.
Is that like Razor Claws, but for guns?
Oh
no,
yes.
Razor Claw lowers it by 1. This does it by 2.
This is by 2. And Dan, how broken can guns get in World of Darkness games?
Yes.
Not that broken because they only do lethal damage.
You get lethal damage. The minute you get that silver magazine, though, but say you got stuff like miniguns in your hand, or say you got the RPG or the grenade launcher, and now you can just lower your difficulty on blowing up that hit mark or thunder.
Oh yeah, like guns are really guns are still pretty powerful, and if you're like especially when you go full auto on somebody.
Yeah, guns are pretty good, but when you use full auto, that you have to reload the gun. It's a one-time use.
And then eventually you get into stuff where you're just given assured damage, like open wounds.
Open wound.
Where system, the player spends 1 Gnosis point and rolls strength and medicine difficulty 7. If the Shellord's next attack does any damage, the target will bleed continuously, losing 1 health level per turn for a number of turns equal to the number of successes rolls. The hemorrhaging is considered lethal damage.
Well, that's a fucky wucky for most things.
And goodbye your regeneration rolls.
I mean, yeah, actually, yeah.
So it's good. It's really good stuff. I'm gonna give the Shellords an A, but credit where it's due. It's not get Fenris good. It's
based on the truth.
Yeah.
Go on.
I think it is situational, though. I think you may be right about that, John, because like I would say they're strong punishing gifts, because when the opponent fucks up, the Shadow Lords capitalize on that, and they really fuck the other person up.
Right.
But it's a matter of playing the patient game with the Shadow Lords.
Because there are hypothetical combat scenarios out there where a Shadow Lord can beat a Gaia Fenris.
Oh yeah,
because a Shadow Lord will get more consistent successes and more consistent attack rolls, but they can't out damage Gaia Fenris. Just a matter of patience.
I'd give them maybe a low A, maybe a strong.
Yeah,
B.
it's close to S. It's close to S, but like the Shadow Lords as a whole, you're so close, but not close enough.
I would say, me personally, I'll give them a B.
Ryan, what do you think?
Okay with a B.
Okay with the B. And then everybody just undersold the Shadow Lords.
Look, I'm not saying that. What I'm thinking here is, yes, they're very good and very sociable. You know what? Fine. I'll give them a low A, A minus. I'll give them an A minus.
Thank you.
I say an A minus. Yeah.
Silent Striders. Not even close to being the strongest, in all honesty.
Okay, now hear me out.
Yes.
They have 2 gifts that increase their speed.
Well, tireless running and speed of thought, and what else is there?
Yeah, tireless running and speed of thought.
Yeah.
Now, think about this.
Yeah.
You can actually you may not be able to exploit the mechanics, but you can exploit the laws of physics in this game. And if you think about it, if you're picking up speed with speed of thought in lupus form, and if you want to if you want to just run head first at somebody, can we who's the numbers guy here?
I can try doing it, and so can Ryan.
Okay, yeah. So let's look at the full speed of the lupus form. I believe you can go 12 squares, which equals to about 65 yards.
Yes.
Yeah, about the same thing that y'all do.
So about 65 yards for every 30 seconds.
Yes.
So let's calculate that by hour. How many yards is that per hour?
Let's see.
Oh, miles per hour.
Let's see. Miles per hour is 60 miles. So 65. Going into this, 65 yards per 30 seconds. 2 mph. Let's see here. 4 miles an hour.
What's that?
It's
4.
Yeah, it's 4 miles an hour.
No, it can't be 4. It's
I'm
40.
counting 30 seconds. Let me load it down to 1. Okay. Okay, here's your actual number. 132 miles an hour.
132 miles an hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, how fast is that? That's pretty fast. Now,
Not as fast as you think it is, but yeah.
Things that are 132.
I mean, that's going over the speed limit in a car.
Let's see.
And when you collide just even at 100 miles an hour with the car, the whole car completely shatters.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
You turn into just a wet bag of Lego bricks.
All right. Now, if you combine speed of thought with like say things like merits that increase your speed, and if you just make a complete speed build with this character, you can basically annihilate a lot of things just by going at a very high speed, because
Okay.
oh yeah, especially if you just have put like a just wear like a helmet designed for
That's not gonna save you. That's not gonna save you.
This whole like Bow Rager build.
I'm not look. I'm not denying any of that, Danny. That sounds like a really cool idea. That also sounds like a suicide build.
Where
Nah.
yeah, you'll get
we regenerate for a reason.
Yeah, you'll always get into combat first. Like you have the speed build, and you got on top of that where it's a stealth build too, because you got gifts like silence for a reason. Where it's the name of the tribe. So speed and assassination tactics, absolutely.
I grant your early regeneration. I really do. You could also punch a werewolf to death. That is a thing. And you're reaching the levels where you can punch a werewolf to death in speed. So that would be a suicide build.
And going into Silent Strider gifts, so they got a whole edge with speed. So your mileage may vary when it comes to damage values, according to your storyteller and how they're running that game. And then with everything else they have as well, in terms of mechanics, their gift selection has never really blown me away. In all honesty,
It's very esoteric.
Yeah, where it's very like
besides the speed build, like it's kind of reminds me a lot of the it reminds me a lot of like Fiana's kind of gift set.
it's
what?
like Axis Mundi, where cool you have this, where you now know where in the world you are, but are you going to go out of your way to take that?
Yes.
Where it's good to have, but nobody's saying like, oh, rank 2, oh yeah, get Axis Mundi now.
I mean, depending on how that campaign goes, because everyone has to remember this too. Yeah, a lot of gifts seem useless, but that's only useless if you stay in one city the whole entire campaign. But if you travel, a lot of gifts are actually useful.
Well, and then Talisman, Summon Talisman is also really good as a gift, because behold, you're now the master of the Keyblade. You can summon your fetish into your hand, but you need to have a fetish to begin with.
Yeah, but I will say this here. I made this maybe me calling it a bit early, but I'll give him a solid B+ to an A-.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B as well, because it's good, but compared to what we just talked about, it's a significant step down, and considering who we're about to talk about, not even close.
Yeah, and the reason why I say at least A is because they have the ability to actually fuck with ghosts.
Yeah, because it's good.
That's
It's also a really small gift selection too. It's only 38 gifts.
They have a small gift selection.
It's like with the reputation that the Silent Striders have for being like ominous and kind of
Right.
and kind of like
Mysterious.
dangerous and mysterious and dangerous.
Yeah.
And giving the vibe of being dangerous and creepy. Their gifts don't really back it up.
Yeah, not really. Right? It's more like the training and the ingenuity and the reliance on skill over talent that carries the Silent Stars as a tribe. They rise to the level of their reputation. You don't start off strong like the Fenris do. So you gotta work for that title. Ryan, what do we think of these guys? What's your opinion, Ryan? Is this what? What you think? What you think? You got a lot to say on these guys. Probably not.
I'll say low B.
Low B. It's good to have, but not like, oh yeah, I can't wait to be like power game with my Sonic Strider build.
I would say a C, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna give him a B minus on the honesty. I think this is lower than the Black Furies.
Yeah, it's the ghosting that puts them high in my book because that's a very useful skill.
Yeah, it's that time. But at the same time, you can just avoid Wraith the Oblivion by just running away from the Wraith and then rely on Karen and the Dictum Mortem to handle the situation for you.
I would say they're right above, they're right above Fiana.
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah, it's certainly better than Fiana. Certainly.
I wouldn't go that far. That seems a little bit mean to Fiana. They make alcohol. That's useful.
Let's see. All right, so Fangs S-tier. S-tier.
Yep, S-tier.
S. The gifts that get really weird, but really strong. These are long description spells that do a lot of crazy stuff. You want to talk about Ice Dance? You want to talk about this? The player spends a single Gnosis point to activate the gift. The effect then lasts until the next sunrise. All dexterity-based rolls while on ice or snow are -1 difficulty, and the werewolf may move at normal speeds across both deep snow and ice.
That is some bullshit.
Now,
but that's only situational. That's only if you're fighting in ice.
No, reason I'm bringing it up is that's their weakest gift at rank 1.
Until they mainly hang out in Russia, where it always snows.
So behold, your character has summoned a blizzard. You team up with the Lieutenant and you summon a blizzard. The Silverfang just runs in with nothing.
No, because Ice Dance has at least a mechanical function. Call of the Breeze is the weakest gift.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
That's true.
We're not even going to read that one.
Yeah, that is fair. But hold on, the fucking
it looks really cool. That's
it has the cape motif when the cape just flies when there's no wind.
The cloak of billowing.
Don't underestimate the cloak of billowing.
It's not as cool as Octena's strut.
But Lambent Flame. Let's get into this one. It's a +1 difficulty to anyone who's trying to make a hand-to-hand attack against you. Sure, you have like a -1 to ranged attacks, but in Reality Apocalypse, most of your combat encounters are going to be melee based. So throwing off somebody's rolls is always good, especially if that guy's trying to grab you, because now it's difficulty 9 for them to grapple you instead of an 8.
That's disgusting.
It's very good. It's simple, but it's good. And on top of that, they have stuff like Inspiration / Grim Resolve as well.
Grim's Resolve is great.
Is very good. Where
they also literally have a disciplined power.
And then,
to be fair, and we're not even getting to the broken ones yet either.
They can start replicating the effects of presence, and then you start getting into high rank with this. These guys have 50 gifts, and almost all of them are unique to them.
Yeah, and for example, ignore sidestep death.
Sidestep death. Where if you can't piece together what that gift does based on its name,
the gift basically says if something would kill you, you just ignore the damage entirely.
Or how about stuff like Handblade that just turns your hand into a weapon that can pierce Geru hide? You turn your hand into a clave.
You could become Baraka from World Combat.
Exactly.
I'm being nice here. I'm not bringing up the rank 6 gifts. Those are just disgusting.
Or you can go into level 3 with Dominance Blow. You spend a point of rage and roll Charisma and roll difficulty 7. If the roll succeeds, then every blow the Silverfang strikes against a single target grants the Silverfang an additional die to all social rolls against the target. So you can just smack him across the face and then scare him to the point where he pisses his pants and gives up.
There's also Luna's armor.
Exactly, and that's just good to have in any situation. And then
I take your Luna's honor and I raise you Luna's Avenger.
Also, you have rank 3 Burning Blade, where behold, you pick up a weapon, it's now on fire, and all of its damage is now aggravated and deals 2 extra damage.
Yeah, fucking Half Moon's diploma. Yeah, the Silverfangs are just easily S rank.
Now we get into the conversation. Are they stronger than the Gaia Fenris?
Yes.
Yes.
Utility wise, yes.
But you have to get to that level though. The Gaia Fenris just start the gate strong and just stay strong for the entire game. The Silverfangs will pass them, but you have to you have to get to the higher ranks first. Where there's a reason why the Surfangs rule, like, 100% they have the stronger powers, but you have to get the powers first.
Yeah, Silver Fangs have like a curve to their
It's very obvious how it's written in lore. They got shit on for all their power grabbing, but it's very evident in their gifts. They got a lot of busted ass fucking gifts.
It's like taking a job offer and you're asked, would you like me to pay you salary or would you like me to pay you commission? Where your salary pays the gift Fenris, where you're always going to be strong, you're always going to have that. That's guaranteed. You're going to rock. But with the Surfangs, it's the commission pay. Where so when it sucks. Like you start off with next to nothing, but eventually, the more you figure out how the game works and the more time you spend with that job with the Surfang, you're going to be making more money than the Fenris would in this metaphor. So it's So absolutely, like Surfangs are the mechanically strongest.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, S-tier. Ryan, what do you think?
I agree.
Yeah, oh yeah. So now we can just end the video.
Hold on. I just want to say one thing here though, and one thing in their favor. They also have like a lot of the majority of fucking the claves. They have a lot of shit.
Given that they hoard the weapons.
They have a lot of claves.
And steal the weapons from other tribes.
Yes.
So why are we still making this video? Well, let's see how far the other tribes are behind the Fenris and Surfangs. Stargazers, the worst tribe in Werewolf mechanically, in my opinion.
Hold on
now. Yeah, I agree with him. Hold on.
Because Stargazers, I'm pretty sure they have a gift that basically prevents them from ever like going into a frenzy.
Iron Resolve.
Yeah. And it lets you actually get. And I'm pretty sure it gives them extra willpower dots.
It does. It does. So you get the willpower. I mean, sure, you got your rerolls with that, and sure, like number control is good.
No. We're going. If we're gonna be doing like mechanic-wise strength, we're going by the old school rules. By it, not by your rules.
Like the old school rule, where like
automatic success.
Like it's automatic success. So yeah, it's good, but you have to keep this going. They're only going to be as strong as long as they still have the willpower points.
Yeah, go into combat, get pissed off. Every time you miss, you get rage. Convert that rage to willpower points. Use that automatic success. Then you have like you have an infinite cycle of like just like getting automatic successes as long as you just keep getting pissed off in combat.
Yeah, the gift might not be Iron Resolve, but I know what gift I know what you're talking about. But that's one gift. I mean, everything else is Falling Touch that does nothing. Paper Butterfly just wastes your time. Drunken Spider, Seed of Speech. Sense Demonic, where when is your Werewolf game going to directly tie in with Demon Fallen?
Knowing you a lot.
Where it's going to have to be a very specific game. Like that's going to be your moment your Stargazer shines, but it's that one gift and everything else is just like resist temptation to teacher's ease, word to weapon. It's stuff that's cool, but I'm not like excited for any of it like the same way I am with the Fenris and the Surfangs.
I'll be fair. I'll say this. I don't know enough. Sorry, I burped. I don't know enough about the Silent Striders, but I may be jumping a little. I'll give him a C+.
Let me read word to weapon here. The Stargazer invokes a prayer, taking a full turn to do so, and you spend a point of Gnosis and then roll Wits and Linguistics. The first success conjures a ghostly translucent scimitar out of thin air. The moon curved blade has a strength base that's lethal, with the difficulty 7 to hit. Every 2 successes past the first, however, on this roll activates the gifts. Every successful strike you make with this weapon increases its damage.
That's disgusting.
But you still need to have points.
Nice.
You still need the points of melee that way. You still need to make your rolls. But with your with your willpower build, sure it works. But this is 3 turns I need to do before I can get on the roll of the scimitar.
Which is
That
true.
is true.
in most combat, it goes way too quickly. So while you're building up power, all the other pack mates have probably killed him.
Where
Hold on.
because
That depends on what you're fighting.
this is what I was doing with Paris when we had during the Minnesota Midnight game, where by the time I was in combat, my pack mates already had the situation covered.
But at the same time, though,
That's
what technically counts for an attack? Because if you're sneaking up behind somebody, you summon the blade. Okay, I attack the ground. I
Yes.
attack the ground. I attack the ground. And I just do that a lot of times. right before you fucking attack, and then you attack your actual target. Infinite damage.
Counterpoint. A pillar comes out of nowhere and hits you in the balls because it's fucking stop.
You're basically describing like Goku charged up his spirit bomb and then you run in with the sword.
I won't like,
My point-
go on.
By technicality, I think the Stargazer gifts can be exploited to stupid levels.
I'm
Technicality here. You stop that.
gonna say like yeah, it's good, but it doesn't blow my mind at all. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say like you have convinced me to give them a higher rating about the Fiana. I'm gonna say that Fiana are objectively the weakest of all the werewolf tribes.
Hold on now.
I mean, the Fiana have a lot of like social stuff that no other werewolf can, but like social stuff in a werewolf game, are you kidding me?
Yeah, yes, Johnny.
I told you they're the weakest, man.
So
Hold on. No.
I'm
you
gonna-
leave so.
Yes.
I'm gonna move the Stargazers to a C+. Like it's a lot of setup, but like there's some gifts in here that are really strong, but it's a handful of gifts and a selection of 51 gifts where like out of 51 gifts, only 10 of them are really crazy.
Hold on. Did they get a rank 6?
They do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
It's thought form of the 12 ministers, where if you want to be the super genius werewolf, there you go, bombs away. It's
Oh yeah, but
it's +2 to perception, +3 to enigmas, +2 to empathy, and +2 to brawl.
really, that's not that great.
Yeah, it's like most rank 6 gifts aren't that crazy.
I mean, there is Gaia's shield.
There is that, but no, most of them aren't. So, yeah, cool, but I don't. The Stargazers don't really see much play either, so maybe there is a build out there for the Stargazers that I just don't know about. But
There really is.
there probably is. It's because I've only ever seen in a live play one person play a Stargazer, and that was Ryan in a game that I ran. And the only reason he played a Stargazer is because I asked him to.
Stargazers are. I haven't run a Stargazer, so I can't really say how this. Yeah, the Stargazer.
Well, Ryan's played this one for a while. Ryan, what do you think of these guys?
I enjoyed them.
But how strong would you put them?
How strong?
Yeah, like the letter grade you give these guys.
High C, low B.
I see. Yes, I can't.
Well,
see
here-
him. I can't see him going
So-
anywhere beyond B.
All the tribes have their dirty little secrets, right? I mean, like the Fenris or Nazis, the Black
Hold on.
Furies. What? They had the swords of Heimdall. That's what I'm saying. All the tribes have a dirty little secret that everybody can exploit. For the Octana, they have the Bane Tenders, Fenris, the swords of Heimdall. For the Black Furies, they have the baby killing.
The wicked stepmothers.
Yeah, all the tribes have their dirty little secrets. Like the Silent Striders, they have the Brain Eaters. For the Stargazers, their dirty little secret, I think, is that they are actually more powerful than how they are perceived. How they are perceived by the Garu nation, and the reason why they do that is because if the rest of the Garu found out the amount of power they can actually dish out.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be pissed because they're just going to be looking at that and thinking, and you fucking abandoned us. And you fucking left the Garu nation and you brought that power with you that we could have used to fight the worm. Fuck you.
So the Sir Fangs do not like the Stargazers by any margin.
I will say this one here is they didn't really have a lot of friends, and fucking tribes be tribing.
I think like the Stargazers, like their whole dark secret is the Metastic Birth, where those are Stargazers that think, the worm is he's actually pretty good. We're just going to take the worm itself as our totem, something that not even the BSDs do.
Well, actually, the Rokaya can do it.
They do that and they call him Quirrell, and yeah, that's something they do. But only two people do it, and that's the Wormish Rokaya and Stargazers. And that's
The BCs don't take the worm as
they
actual
don't even
totem.
do that. No, they don't even do that.
Yeah, now that you say that, that makes sense. Hold on.
the Shadow Lords brought back Bat, quote unquote. And
They
the
did,
Tenna
but
are
they're
always...
redeeming him. Like you can't just redeem the worm. It's not going to work.
Well, that's what the Stargazers are saying about this aspect of the worm. So
Well, canonically, the worm can be redeemed. It's just no one has figured out how yet.
Yeah, nobody's done it. Yeah, how you do is that you defeat the Weaver. Just hand the worm the wind, and he'll calm down.
People want to say the worm is the worst enemy. The Weaver started this shit.
Yeah, the Weaver's the real secret antagonist of Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Actually started.
And the real antagonist of changing dreaming too.
Yeah.
Uktena. Okay. So the gifts are weird with the Uktena.
gifts are great.
Yeah.
First off, you have the Lizard Walk, Spirit of the Lizard Walk, which
Yes.
lets you fucking walk on walls and walk upside down without a fucking running head start.
Which is good.
mind you. Let's see. Spirit Speech. What was the other one? Let's see. Summon Fetish. Invisibility.
Okay. Pull water where if you're dying of thirst, just water will fill your mouth and will save you.
Hold on. I will say this here. From my observation of the Ictina, they are literally the magician werewolves.
Oh yeah, this is the Tremere werewolf, right here. This is the Tremere. I guess you could say about the Glassworkers too, but there's a lot of similarities between the Ictina and Tremere in my mind.
Plays attack. Okay.
They literally sense magic. Sense magic.
Yes, they're mage killers. And these,
Summon elementals.
and, see, what is this I'm reading right here? Medicine dreams. Let's see, look at this. If you want to know what a guy is dying of from what kind of disease is killing a guy, if you pass a charisma and a cult roll, it just tells you what you're supposed to do. So,
Ancestral recall.
it's these are very situational gifts, but there's stuff where if I had them, I'd use them.
Scrying. Literally scrying.
Hey, ends the road. Do you want to talk to this Uktena? The Uktena, okay. The Uktena uses ancestral recall. You're talking to your daddy now.
Yes. Well, that's gonna be a hell of a conversation.
Yeah. Right. What's the name of that one gift? Shit. It's called Smell the Name or the Scent of the Name.
So now we're getting to true names.
No. Get the name of the gift. But basically, remember what it is. If you, I think it's you again. Hold on. That's a moon. That's a moon thing. Hold on. Never mind. Never mind.
Well, I was gonna say what happens to a fae when you say their true name out loud?
You don't want to do that because they will kill you for doing that shit.
What is this? Uktena's freezing stare. You make the eye contact roll. You roll manipulation plus intimidation. With the difficulty equal to the target's willpower, which usually isn't that high. The paralysis lasts for one scene until the opponent is physically or mentally attacked. So that just sets you up for the kill shot.
Yeah, basically saying, "I got you, monster. As soon as I pull the trigger, you're dead." Really?
Or you just
No,
you just look at the guy and then just walk away.
It's like Clap of Thunder, but better.
This is like jam weapon, but better.
Hold on, no. You have to remember, it's a one-target thing.
I mean, yeah, it's one target, but it's like presence versus dominate. Like, even though presence is very versatile, it's not as strong as dominate.
Yeah.
So, and then what else is this? Reveal the hidden, which does exactly what you think it does.
You literally just see the invisible bullshit.
So this is all good. It's all really, really good. It's all like mage kind of stuff. A. I'm giving the Ictina an A.
I'll give it an A as well.
An A.
You know, I would argue for an S, but you know what? I'm okay with an A.
Yeah, it's an A. It's almost an S. It's like this. It's like the Shadow Lords too with the antenna, where once you start snowballing with the antenna, there's very little anyone can do to stop you. It's,
Oh yeah.
but it's just
yeah.
the setup and just how expensive these gifts are too, because this is a lot of Gnosis gifts I'm looking at.
Nah, I just
If you're
looked up the.
To be fair though, if you're playing an Octana and you don't have a lot of Gnosis, you're not playing the Octana properly.
You're not.
Yeah, let me be quick here for people here. The antenna aren't just Native Americans from America. You can be part from it. You could just. They're all South of America.
East
That's
Asian,
the antenna.
African, Polynesian, Samoan,
They're anything
Australian.
that's not white.
Well, even so, there's the indigenous Russian people where you have antenna and that.
No, the antenna are all South America. They're not like Asian. No, they're all just actually South
In
America.
entirely South America. You have antenna in India too.
Yeah, I'm not saying tribes don't exist anymore. It's hell. There's a silver fang Indian. There's a silver fang in India.
And it's the only
English just can't be your first language.
and it's the only. So yeah,
I speak too often, but I want to say one thing here is their rank 6 gift. Fuck me. You literally turn into an avatar of your fucking totem.
oh, would you just,
Oh yeah, that's that's pretty
would
good,
you
but I
like
mean,
to
it's
be
basically-
Green Antenna?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing as just like I mean, no one's gonna end up getting rank 6 anyway. So
Okay, I like how you keep saying these powers are so cool, but then you immediately kick to the side all the cool.
well, the reason why is because we kind of discussed that before you actually got here.
Yeah.
Is that we were discussing the lower ranking ones first.
Because there's very few games
nobody-
out there that go that high.
Yeah,
Of course,
exactly.
Ryan, what would you
I'm
think
not
the
even
antenna?
gonna- Yeah, I'm saying that you could theoretically rely to get to rank 5. Rank 6 is literally epic campaign.
Oh, by the time you're like at the high ranking gifts with the antenna, you're summoning hurricanes.
But it's not. I don't think it's the strongest rank 6
Where it's
gift though.
No, it's not. It's not.
so, like what I'm hanging up on with the antenna though is just how expensive the gifts are though.
What do you mean how expensive the gifts
Because
are? Aren't they,
everything's
like-
a Gnosis roll. Like everything just requires you to spend Gnosis. There's no rage spending. There's no willpower spending.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? They're magic.
It is. And it just gets really pricey after a while. It's the reason. It's why I was saying that I was holding the Black Furies back. Is how much Black Fury stuff relied on Gnosis. Where Ryan, what do we think of the antenna? What do we think? What do you think?
I like them. I'd put them maybe top of B.
In 2 years, when we finally get around to playing Rage Across Los Angeles, you're gonna play as one.
I could, yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna play Nocturna originally in Russia.
Yeah. And then I brought up the Stargazers, how nobody plays the Stargazers, and that's what started that.
Yeah.
Alright. Wendigo.
Play a Stargazer.
Let's see.
Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Looking at the gifts, I don't know.
They're not very strong. I'll admit they're not very strong.
Not really,
Where-
no. They're like a shittier version of Silver Fangs. I'm sorry.
Beat of the Heart Drum is good if you're tracking somebody down. Like if you're chasing after a man, if you're hunting, like specifically hunting and tracking gifts, the Wendigo has you. It has you covered. If you're trying to find a guy, they got you covered, and they got a lot of stealth gifts too, like camouflage. And resist pain, where this is one of 3 tribes that starts the game with resist pain.
They're only
I
strong
think-
with prep time.
I wouldn't go that far, but Ice Echo's pretty good.
Where Ice Echo is good, and you've also got Devouring Grime, but Ryan, have you noticed how little I'm using my gifts within the road?
Yes.
Yeah. Where there's nothing really with the Wendigo that drives you crazy. I mean, you've got Fangs in the north where you're dealing like necrosis, skin, muscle, tissue death damage with your bites, but
Yeah.
it's you're not.
Sounds pretty lame if you ask me.
Yeah, it's not that
Not that
crazy.
lame.
You also it's a Gnosis gift, and you have to set it up too. And it's like a -1 penalty to the difficulty, so it's easier to make the bite. So if you're in Hispo form, you're going to land that consistently. But like the juice really isn't worth the squeeze. You're able to heal yourself a tourniquet, which is just good. Where spending and especially with it being a willpower point that you heal yourself with instead of a gnosis point, that's really good. But there's nothing in here that I'm gonna say is that strong in comparison to some of the other gifts that we talked to. It's like comparing Uctena to Wendigo. Uctena is very clearly a stronger option. We're just without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
And
how the Lord
Right.
has to make them out to be. They're not actually that strong.
you don't get crazy with your gifts until you start getting to rank 3. But then that's late game for you. And you get stuff like Whiteout, where if you just want to summon a blizzard that ruins everybody's perception score, you can do that. You want Strength of Pine, where it's similar to Troll Skin. The player spends a point of Gnosis and rolls Gnosis and Survival. The difficulty of grounding varies on location. You basically take a stance, and you can't be moved from the stance. You just become a immobile tank for a while. Or Icicle Hide, where you just now if anyone attacks you, icicles will pierce their flesh. So you damage me, I damage you, kind of mechanic. And but at the same time, you notice a lot of stuff requires you to be in the right position, or someone needs to attack you first.
I'll say it's yeah, I'd put them at C tier.
No,
I wasn't that far.
no. Well, with their rights too, where I think the Wendigo have a right where we haven't really talked about rights much in this video, but they do have one that reduces a werewolf to rank 1. So, but at the same time, that's a right that requires setup.
I mean, if we're talking about rights, that's a whole different type of episode.
Oh, and
The
with
gifts
rights.
Yeah.
But the
So
thing
yeah,
I'd say,
if we're going with rights, the Glasswalkers automatically win.
and I'll say too with rights, that'll jump the 810 out of S tier. Yeah, with how crazy this shit is.
Yeah, all the magician class, I don't think they're automatically a winner.
Yeah, well, have you cast a ritual spell or right spell in Mage?
I mean, to be fair, this group doesn't really use rights at all. At all.
Yeah, the Wendigo don't really do that. That was sort of like,
And if you go by rights, also the outsiders will be bumped up to a higher ranking as well.
Yeah, some of these, but
But
rights.
I would give these guys a low A.
I'm gonna say it's a B plus. It's a B plus. Where
To me to see, I'm sorry,
it's
I don't. Are they as strong as the Black Fury gifts? No.
no.
Are they as strong as the
Yeah.
say the Silent Strider gifts?
Probably not.
I wouldn't go. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't really.
Are
played
they as
any of
strong?
them.
Are they as strong as the Red Town gifts? No, they're C tier.
Yeah, where? Yeah, I think I'm thinking I'm just gonna drop it down to a B, just straight B. Where I'd put a Black Fury above a Wendigo. Ryan, what do we think?
I'm okay with low B.
Okay. And we're not even gonna give these guys their own picture up on OBS. Black Sparrows is a D.
Shit.
It's a D. This is
Okay, so then who do we have we put any tribes in C tier then?
see. Well, Fiana.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
it-
they're D tier.
It was the because I put the Fiana down pretty low, but
But they're the weakest, so they should be the lowest,
Yes.
which is D.
they can
Hold
actually
on.
die to the Black Sparrow Dancers in Apocalypse. Should we go over the Bunyip?
Hold on. The Black
all
Sparrow
dead.
Dancers are not a D. The Black Sparrow are not a D. How dare you?
You need the worm powers to carry these guys.
I mean,
yeah, no, but there's so many
Yeah.
options though.
What's
I
it?
mean, but most of them just end up actually are like you're corrupted, worm corrupted. You have to roll for
Hey,
worm
hold on,
corruption,
hold on.
which is actually good.
I thought we were judging the gifts, yeah, not the corruption thing.
Oh my God,
Their
that's-
gifts aren't bad; they're solid. It's just not many people use Black Spirals like actual Black Spirals.
Yeah, the Black
They're a solid B.
Yeah, it's like Black Sparrow gifts. We're giving out a lot of this. The BSDs, it's like a lot of this stuff is like dirty tactics type of shit where, you're not really fighting like a werewolf these days, and like the Black Sparrow Dancers don't really do that either. There's no honorable Black Sparrow Dancer anymore.
Honestly, like I wouldn't even rank the Black Sparrows because like if you're
Yeah,
I mean, if you're playing a game, you're not you're not playing a Black Spiral Dancer in most games.
No.
And it's mostly meant for the GM to use. And when you're the GM, you can just give the main gifts you want. So really, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it just requires like some high setup with the BSDs.
Hold on now. I thought we were judging them based off their tribe, and they are a solid B. Not on what the DM would give them or whatever anybody else would give them. We're being objective as possible.
Yeah, we're also going realistic, right? In most games, you wouldn't get past like rank 3 or something like that.
No,
and realistically, in most games, you wouldn't play Black Spiral Dancer. So like, it's kind of if anything, they're actually D because they're just unplayable.
I mean, they are playable. I don't know what you mean. They haven't. That doesn't mean
that session's gonna last. That Chronicle's only gonna last 2 sessions, and that's it.
Again, I say this. If we're gonna be realistic, that's a whole different ranking system. If we're gonna be realistic, the white spirals, I mean, the silver fangs wouldn't be an S. They'll be a C because of the amount of disadvantages you have to get.
And also mechanically, most black spirals are metas. So.
I don't think most of them are metas. So.
But.
No,
Bunyip. Let's talk about the Bunyip. Let's go to the Bunyip.
Aren't they extinct?
Yeah, they're extinct, and there's a reason why. It's because a lot of their gifts, I'm looking at them right now, just involve running away.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, this whatever we gave the Fiana, it's the same as the Fiana.
Yeah, this is the only one I would call a C.
They do have a lot of like Umbra navigation stuff too, which is just good. But there's not really anything much to talk about with the Bunyip. And same like with how we never made a Bunyip episode. We made Dead Pharaoh Society, Dead Pharaoh breeds. So whatever I taught that video, it's slipping my mind right now. But no, it feels like it's just everything about the Bunyip is just an afterthought. Now, Croen, this is actually interesting with the Croen.
I think Croen, a very good tank build.
Oh, absolutely. This is the tank werewolf where it starts off with easy stuff like cook fire, where it's like cooking but with extra steps. Turtle bodies when you start popping off, where the player must spend a point of gnosis and roll gnosis difficulty 6 to enter a torpor-like trance. Trance lasts for 1 hour per success. Where you start communing with World Turtle himself, and he tells you what you need to know. And yeah, on top of that, you get Master of Fire, you get Wild Sight. It's good, but rank 2 is when the Croen really comes online with Shell Game and Turtle Shell. Where
Shell
Game. Let's tell them what Shell Game does. The player must spend point of gnosis and roll manipulation plus barter. Modern games are streetwise, difficulty 7. The number of successes determines the value of resulting money. What you do is that you take 3 shells, you hide an item under the shell, and this will essentially let you scam somebody with an easy smeezy roll. And then, so if you want to go for the money build, ironically enough, the Croen are one of the best builds for that, but Turtle Shell's the one that really everybody wants to know. Alright, with this, the player rolls Stamina plus Survival, difficulty 7, after spending Gnosis. 8 success gives them 2 Soak Dice and 2 levels of health.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible.
Oh, hold on now.
Oh.
You personally don't get it. You summon out the magic barrier around yourself.
You get the barrier, but that's a lot, dude.
And
6 successes, I have 12 additional Soak Dice and 12 additional health.
I mean, it's really good for just tanking.
That's what the trolls get in Changing to Dreaming, and the trolls are broken mechanically.
The trolls are different. They can also punch you really hard.
Yeah, but the Croen, well, if you got a Croen out room, behold. The combat counter will solve itself.
They can't get outside the barrier.
You become essentially like an Overwatch tank with these guys. And then...
Yeah, they're really good. They're going to stay in one place, yeah.
And what about Call Earth Spirits?
Call Earth Spirits.
They can just summon Earth Spirits.
You command the ground to reach up and grab the ankles of who you're fighting. So they don't move, but their enemies don't move either. And once again, it's like the Children of Gaia, where the Croen themselves aren't going to accomplish much, but in a packed unit, the Croen are going to sweep. They're going to help you sweep.
Yeah, they're a good tank build. I'd put them at B.
I'd say it's... I'm gonna put these guys above Black Furies. I'm gonna say it's a B plus.
Okay. I was gonna say like at the same level as Black Furies, so
Where
but better than Black Furies. Yeah,
Black-
that's fine.
The Black Furies are generalist, and like you have Wild Resurgence, where the Crows have it too. Funny enough, and a lot of the stuff with the Black Furies, where it's a generalist build, they're just good at everything, but don't really excel at anything. But the Croton, it's one specific role that's not the most exciting, but you're always grateful when someone's playing it. And when I was making Overwatch, that was the tank. That was the role I played the most. Was the tank. Where was I the one with the most kills? No. Was I the one with the most damage mitigated? Yes. Did I help my team get kills and heals? Yes. Which is where the Croton come.
Yeah.
Ryan, how much stock do you put in the Croton? Where'd you put these guys?
I don't put much stock into the Croton.
No, this is a C to you.
Yeah.
See, he's not much of a tank guy. His opinion is the best defense is good offense.
Exactly.
I'll give him a B.
All right.
I'll
Now
give him a B because
what?
Because in World of Darkness, you can die very, very quickly, and having a tank build is like a rarity.
Which is why the consumption worm killed these guys. The fight for the apocalypse could have been prevented if the Croton all survived.
They were the good boys.
They were too good for this world. That's why they had to die.
Well, the White Howlers were too good for this world.
Now for the White Howlers. Would you like the premier damage build of Werewolf the Apocalypse?
I wouldn't go that far.
They got Desperate Strength, they got Sense Worm, they got Primal Anger. A character with this gift may sacrifice a single health level once per scene and gain 2 extra points of rage in exchange. How many attacks would we be making this turn? How many attacks do you want to make? You essentially become a D&D fighter. Where sure, you're shredding your health levels, but it's like 4 attacks per turn coming from the White Howler at one time.
That's I don't know. That's kind of to me. That seems kind of pointless, considering you automatically gain rage back just from like botching and like doing. So getting pissed off anyway.
So like, hypothetically in play, like a White Howler, you would just be like cranking rage every session. You just get a shitload of rage.
I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it really, especially when you're giving up strength.
Well, would you say Shining Sigils is worth it? While this gift is active, a Gnawer receives a pool of bonus dice equal to his rank that he can allocate to any social roles towards spirits or other guiding Gnawer.
I can't find this Shining.
Now, would you say that's better than Persuasion that the Fiana have?
From what you described, oh, here it is, Shining Sigil. Here's this.
Yeah, you see what that does?
While the gift is active, pool equal to his rank.
It's good, isn't it?
I mean, if you're a higher rank, I guess, yeah. But I mean, like.
And then, what else is this?
I mean, 5 is the max you can actually get.
It's still pretty good.
It's still good. I'm gonna say it's better than Persuasion. And then you've got.
I mean, it's free.
It's free, yeah. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to use.
I mean, you know what? That's not bad. That's not bad. You get an extra dot in everything. So.
And now for Haunting Howl, where this is the crazy one. The player rolls Charisma plus Intimidation, difficulty 7. All enemies within earshot of the werewolf's howl suffer a +1 difficulty to all willpower rolls for 3 turns per success. So.
I mean, what kind of willpower rolls are you going to be making in combat, other than just being dominated?
Well, it'll definitely. Your Shelter is going to definitely appreciate that.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, yeah, but other than that, that's it, you know?
Along with rank 2 is when we come online with Pain Strength. When the character is first wounded, the player may choose to spend a point of rage to activate the gift. For the remainder of the scene, the character gains 1 die of strength for every wound penalty he suffers from. In addition, wound penalties do not affect the strength score or damage pools. Thus, a character wounded would lose 2 dice from most damage pools, but actually gains 2 dice to your strength score. So, your accuracy horribly lowers, but the next time you land your attack, it's going to kill.
But here's the thing, though.
Yes. What's the thing?
Resist pain is kind of better. because if you're just getting 1, whereas every single damage you take, you're actually losing dice. I mean, it's kind of dumb.
But if you combine the two together,
No,
Yeah,
hold on.
that's a big if, though.
is well. Let's see here. I'm going to try and convince you that the White Howlers are cool. How about Lion's Bite?
What do you mean pain strength to good? You literally just gain equal dice to the amount of health level, to the amount of penalties you would get in exchange.
Yeah,
seems
but-
good.
Let's see. Lion's Bite.
Yeah, but it's negated by the amount of wound penalties you have.
The player may,
No, it's not.
may spend a
It says it does not
rage
affect.
and roll dexterity and brawl.
Does
difficulty
it say
7.
it doesn't affect the wound? Yeah, but does
No,
it say
it
that wound
doesn't.
penalties don't affect you?
If she
Yeah, wounded penalties do not affect the strength.
If she gains 1 or 2 successes on the attack roll, the attack is treated as a bite. So it just turns all of your... You roll this, you do a token bite, you bite the neck.
It
Target
said if the character would ignore wound penalties.
target bite takes damage as
He
usual.
does
and
not
begins
gain
to
the
suffocate.
bonus strength.
Right, hold turn.
I suppose it's good.
Okay, Lion's Bite is not that interesting of a gift.
Yeah, so John, it says here that if the character would ignore wound penalties, then you don't get this bonus in strength.
Oh, so it
it's
can't
kinda pointless.
it can't combine.
I
Yeah, it
mean,
can't.
yeah. But if you really want to get meta about this, you could just spend willpower to ignore the wound penalties.
Wait, what is this? Alright, rank 3,
But
come
then-
save me.
Again, it doesn't say anything about wound penalties. It says about gifts.
Alright, rank 3, Blooding Fury. The guru must injure herself with a claw or bite. The character takes 1 level of unsoakable aggravated damage and regains all temporary rage.
That's pretty fucking
That
good.
unsoakable damage is amazing. So that's pretty cool.
So,
For what?
Especially-
For what?
Especially unsoakable aggravated.
well, no, you do it. You
Yeah.
do it to yourself, and then you gain 10 temporary rage for doing so. And
That's really good, actually.
it can only be used once per scene, but to instantly refill your rage.
Oh wait.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
it does it to himself, not to.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
And then you just go
Nope.
fucking nuts.
I mean, like, just take this for example. Here, as you are just spinning rage to tear through hordes of enemy. You are like 2 rage. You use this, dial you back to full.
So-
Really good gift.
So the White Howlers are a high risk, high reward kind of play style. Or,
Berserker.
like a berserk kind of play style where you're probably going to go down in combat at some point. It's probably going to happen, but you will deal a lot of damage before you do.
Though to be fair, if these guys are based off the picks, this makes sense.
It is. So if you want to get really reckless with your play style in Werewolf the Apocalypse, that's the one you go for.
Yeah, for reference here, the pick was an old tribe or old people in Europe that fought butt naked.
Now, I really like this kind of play style, but I'm going to say that, yeah, this is mechanically weaker compared to some others.
Although, I think I'll actually... If you're playing a White Howler in a game, I would argue that you would have to be playing at a very high level at the very start.
Right.
At least in my opinion.
Right.
I mean,
Because,
And
and
a
one thing I
game,
will
too,
say is
where-
White Fire is a cool gift.
Oh.
I thought you
Would you like to read what that does?
So the player spends 1 Gnosis and rolls Dexterity plus Occult, difficulty 6.
Yes.
The bonfire inflicts 6 dice of aggravated damage plus 1 die for every extra success on the attack roll. In addition, if the victim suffers more than 3 levels of damage after soak, she is blinded for the duration of the scene.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Feeling
good.
Howl sounds pretty good too.
That's good. I like the way this plays, and it's gonna be in a Dark Ages game where everybody's using melee weapons. So it's,
I mean, crossbow, bitch.
yeah, you do have those, and this is where silver is going to be rare. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms,
but, yeah.
I
But you
would
also
say
it's
Yes.
it's fun, but doesn't necessarily translate to strong.
would you say they're better than Croten's gift?
No,
No.
no.
Would you say that they are better than? Let's see.
It-
Would you say that they're better than Black Sparrow gifts?
It's absolutely, absolutely.
I
Would you
want
say-
to laugh right now.
Would you say that they're better than Wendigo's gifts?
And they're on the same level in my mind.
Same.
I said they're on the same level as Red Talons and Wendigo.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is B minus. It's risky. It's risky. It's fun, but it's risky.
Yeah, yeah, you literally, they're fun, but I will say this here is, Dark Age game, yeah, there's less silver, but you also have to remember, true faith was very apparent, and people, you could reliably break down someone's door and claim you're a werewolf and attack you.
And this may or may not be before the shattering.
Yeah, the point is, the Dark Ages sound fun with powers, but that also means the danger was a lot more prevalent.
Oh yeah, in a different sense, in a much different sense. Ryan, what do we think about this? Like, do you like this kind of high risk high reward? What you think? I think.
Always high risk, high reward.
So would you say this is strong? What we looked at.
I would agree with you guys.
Yeah, it's just very middle way. So I think we're in agreement that like Silver Fangs are the strongest. Fenris is right behind that. Now,
so there are some. I will say this: mechanically, there's one mechanic that the Silver Fangs do have that is not gift based, and that is you have to spend your freebie points or some of your background points in pure breed in order to actually legally play, which is a detriment.
With that,
yeah, but you also gain access to so much power,
and then you may or may not have a derangement during the game,
and you also have a derangement during the game as well.
Yeah, and that is a drawback to it, but eventually you'll be able to like find ways to work around it, and then start steamrolling from there, and you're still going to have the benefits of the Silver Fangs, where the Silver Fangs have a lot of lore on their shoulders, keeping them up.
Yeah, Laurel, and they also, there's a reason why the Silver Fangs are still respected. Despite the power, they still produce reliably smart rulers. It's just a lot of the time they're incompetent.
So, well, would you like to talk to Jacob Morningkill?
All right,
Let me put it here.
So let me put it this way. So let's take our strongest Silver Fang against our strongest Get a Fenris, though. Look at the gifts that they have at rank 5 compared to the Get a Fenris' rank 5.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win that fight?
Silver Fang.
Hold on, you said the strongest. They're going to be at rank 6 then.
It's gonna be Get a Fenris because look at the fucking gift that they actually have for rank 5.
Rank 5. Which one are you looking at?
Let's see. The one that makes them basically invincible until their foe is dead.
That one.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on now. Cub's Paw. No more gift.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess you can just shut down the power.
That gift is fucking disgusting.
Yes. So it's like at rank 1, the Get Fenris is going to win. Rank 2, it starts going into the Silver Fang's favor. Rank 3, the Silver Fang will win every matchup.
Yeah.
And then, so we got a first place, we got a second place. Now, who's the third between Actena, Shadow Lords, and Children of Gaia? Were our A ranks?
Children of Gaia.
Because the jam weapon, we're just right at the gate.
No. Just because the sheer healing.
And like
that is
and
always
like Unicorn's Arsenal, where like theoretically a Child of Gaia could out heal the damage that Gaia Fenris would deal to it.
Yeah, no, it's just they can heal and regrow your limbs if they're right next to you. To clarify here, you do not naturally regenerate your limbs, but if somebody with Mother's Touch or my grandmother's touch was able to reattach the limb, it will heal.
Along with other options that let you shut down combat.
Yeah. So, third place has got Children of Gaia for me.
See, third place. Dan, what do you think? Because
I mean, I don't disagree for third place.
Because I was gonna say
if you put Children of Gaia against a Glasswalker, I think Children of Gaia would win just because they have jam technology. So I think third place is a good argument.
I was gonna get to the Shellers just because of the roll control from Season the Edge.
I think Octana is third.
Octana's third to you?
Yeah.
With the magic powers. Well, let's have Ryan be a tiebreaker between the three of us.
Hey,
Ryan, it falls to you. Which between those three?
Hmm.
What do you think? We got three tribes.
Honestly, I don't know. Huh.
Well, what do you think is more important? The magical shit you get from the antenna, the roll control from the Shadow Lords, or the healing from the Children of Gaia?
It's the
Roll. I gotta say Shadow Lords. Roll control.
Shadow Lords. There it is. It comes from Ryan's mouth. Third place is going to Shadow Lords.
So who was second? Oh yeah, it was Fenris.
Yeah, second is Fenris. And then I'll agree with Greed about the Children of Gaia being stronger than the antenna. So.
Yeah, the tribes are really good overall. To be fair, most of the tribes are actually competent if you know what you're doing.
So it's like from order from strongest to weakest. It's Silver Fangs, Fenris, Shadow Lords, Children of Gaia, Antenna, Glasswalkers, theoretically Stargazers.
Black Furies, don't you think?
Yeah, Black Furies next.
Well, actually, no, it's Croen next.
Croen, then Black Furies. Then after them would be Silent Striders.
Well, no, it would be Stargazers theoretically.
Yeah, the theoretical Stargazer. So,
then Red Talons.
Then the Red Talons. Then the Wendigo.
Then the Silent Striders. And then the Fiana.
Well, no, you're forgetting the Bonars.
Oh yeah, the Bonars. Where do we put the Bonars?
Above the Fiana.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but are they the same? But are they the same level as Silent Striders?
I mean, Silent Striders. It's more useful gifts, but not necessarily anything to help in that combat scenario besides Trash's Treasure and Desperate Strength.
Yeah. Okay, so Silent Striders beats Bonar.
Yes.
So it goes Fiana, Bonar, Silent Striders, Bunyip.
Yeah, Bunyip are pretty low. And
and
then White Howlers.
But are they as low as Silent Striders? I don't think so.
So start from the beginning again. Silver Fangs, Fenris.
Well, let's start from the bottom.
Yeah, let's start from the bottom. Okay, start from the bottom. Okay,
so at the bottom it's Fiana. Next it's the Bunyip.
Then Bunyip, then Bonars.
Then Bonars.
Then White Howlers.
Silent Striders.
Yeah.
No, we ranked them pretty high.
No. Alright, so Fiana.
It's
Fiana, Bunyip, Bonars. Silent Striders.
Fiana, Bunyip, Bonars, Silent Striders.
White Howlers.
No, it was Wendigo.
No, Wendigo, then White Howlers.
Then White Howlers, then Red Talons.
Then Black Furies.
Then Black Furies.
See.
Then it was the Glasswalkers.
Yeah. No, the theoretical Stargazer.
No, the theoretical Stargazers.
Yeah.
Then Glasswalkers.
Then
Uktena. Then Children of Gaia.
Then Children of Gaia. Then
Shadow Lords. Then Fenris, and then Silver Fangs.
Fenris, and then Silver Fangs. All right, that's it. That's the power hierarchy. All right. Yes, we solved the puzzle. We put it in the right order.
Shit, we missed Croen and Black Stars in that.
Fuck, do it all over again. Now we're not doing this again. All right, that's it. We're done. We're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Mind you, the audience, some of us disagree on placements, but yeah.
I agree. I think that the Uktena should be in third or fourth. Yeah. I think they're definitely better than the Children of Gaia.
Yeah, we got 3 different people fighting for bronze.
Hey, when there's over 12 people, bronze is actually a good place.
Yes.
It is at least a medal.
There is.
That's more than most Olympians can say.
All right. I'm gonna put together a thumbnail and I'm gonna upload this.
You gotta do.
Right. So
thank you for having me. You know, knowing little shit.
Yeah. And Dan Ryan, thank you for doing this on short notice.
Yeah, no problem.
I was hoping to play a game, but yeah, okay, you're welcome.
All right. Well, I'll see the 2 of you on Friday.
All right. I'll see you guys
Absolutely.
later.
And Ryan, I will see you Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'll see you Sunday. All right. Just to fuck with the audience, we're gonna do a mage game after the Sabat game. Don't worry, we won't record it.
Well, it's gonna be a toss up between am I doing mage or we're doing Dan's game.
Yeah. Now, now, if we did my game, we could actually record it because it's censored.
Yes.
I mean, hold on. JoJo isn't that fucking depraved.
You got some crazy shit going on in part 9, dude.
Johnny, is the mage game deprived? Is it depraved?
Let's see, is it depraved? It's more like Fox doesn't want his face on camera. Is the whole thing. So.
Well, you guys never show your faces on camera anyway.
Well, yeah, but like Fox is just a very private guy.
I showed myself face on camera before. I just don't like to do it often.
All right, I'm pulling the plug on this. We're done. All right, G in everybody.
Okay, bye.
All right, G in.